Welcome to the Midwest. My name is Jesse, and today is a day of referendum. Today, I'm going to be talking about the value of being nice. And if you've been watching this channel at all over the past few years, you've known that at the very end of every single episode, I have given you a call to action. And it's very simple, and in my opinion, it's very powerful, and that is to go out there and remember to be nice to people, right? It seems really easy. Oh, yeah, thanks. Just go out there and be nice to people. But in the world we live in today, and in the world we lived in 2 years ago, whenever I started this channel, it was just as important. Kindness is important. And this is actually where I'm making a change in that call to action. And it was based off of a conversation I had not too long ago. I was talking to a new friend, shout out to James, and we were talking about this. I was saying, I need to, the world we live in now is so crazy. There's a lot of change happening, some good, some bad, some, all kinds of stuff going on. And I want to be a part of the good things. I want to be a good influence on the world. And one of the things that I firmly have always believed, and I still believe it to this day, is that you don't have to be a huge leader. You don't have to, be elected to some amazing office or lead some kind of some giant movement. That I really do believe in the power of the individual. And I think the individual has so much more power than they know. And so when I say, don't forget to go out there and be nice to people, I'm calling on you to call on that power. And I'm calling on myself. I'm trying to remind myself that my actions count. That it's not just about the major movements that you hear about in the news, that the big movements in society are the sum total of all of the individuals that make up the society. And so I was talking to my friend James, and I was saying, hey, you know what? I think I need to make some kind of an episode about this. I need to talk to people more about this issue and why it's important to be nice. But I think oftentimes we misunderstand this thing. We feel like if you're a nice guy, the nice guys finish last. Remember, right? That's a saying that is very prevalent. And in fact, some of the people that I admire, whenever I think about, people who are mentors to me, both people that I know and also some people that I don't know who I follow on social media, or I listen to their podcasts or read their books or whatever, they have these talks that you can go and you can find them saying, don't be nice. Don't be nice. And I'm like, well, I feel like this is a misunderstanding of what I'm trying to say, or at least what niceness is. But James turned me on to the etymology of the word nice, and also the word kindness. And he was saying, well, maybe you actually mean kindness instead of niceness. Because when we think about the nice person, we do think about a person who's somewhat kind of spineless almost, someone who is easily pushed around. Like, personally, I've never thought about it that way. Maybe it's just because I'm a Midwesterner and I don't think about things like that, but I am a English professor. So etymology is something that I kind of nerd out on. Anytime I can find out the origin of a word or the philosophy behind something, I'm always like, yeah, tell me more. So James, he sent me a excerpt from a reading that he's been doing, and it talks about the etymology of the word nice. And apparently the word nice comes from Latin roots. There's actually a denotation and a connotation of that you're just kind of ignorant. And I'm like, oh my God, oh no, I've been telling everybody to be nice, and I don't mean to be ignorant. And to be ignorant is something that there's nothing wrong with being ignorant of something. That just means you're unaware of something. But I'm not going to encourage someone to go be unaware of something. And he said, okay, maybe it is that you mean the word kind. And for the longest time, I felt that these words were synonyms, right? Two words that mean pretty much the same thing. And even though we could use these words interchangeably, they do have different connotations, even in just the way we hear them, even just the way we hear them in the English language. The kindness has a fuller sense. There's this sense of there's just more to that word than just being nice. So the etymology of the word kind comes from the Germanic roots, And it's also the same word that kind. For instance, if you've heard of the word kin, in English we use the word kin to denote family. So my kin, and we don't use this in the United States very much. If you've ever watched the Beverly Hillbillies, they use my kinfolk, right? My kinfolk say, Jed, move away from there, right? So when we think about the word kin, that is family. And so if you're acting in kindness, you're acting in a way that you're treating others like their family. And I'm like, oh my God, this is what I've been meaning to say the whole time. This is it. Because we really are one big family. You know, Albert Camus, one of my favorite existential philosophers, one of the things that he often talks about is how we are all interconnected. And one of the things that he wrestled with was how that works, right? And especially in a world that is in the world that maybe we don't all agree on a central God figure, or maybe we don't all agree on anything specific that connects us like we used to in olden times. He says, you know, one of the things that we can all agree on is that we're doomed. And I know that might sound kind of morbid, but we're all on this planet floating in space, centrally, just essentially doomed. Together, we're on this ship that is floating with, you know, just completely together, and it's eventually going to go down. But we are on this thing together. Now, of course, the year 2020 is the year of we've made a term, we've made a phrase cliche. We're all in this together. And it's really a shame that it's become a cliche phrase. And of course, the word cliche, let's just nerd out a little bit. The word cliche comes from the French. There was, back in the day, whenever the printing press was just starting, there would be phrases that people said over and over again. And they would just leave back then you had to have, the letters were in blocks, and they had to ink the blocks and then print the page. And it took a lot of time to put those blocks together. So what they would do is they would clamp these blocks together, and that word was cliché. It would be a cliché whenever you had these words clamped together. Now, my French is terrible, so please forgive me for my pronunciation, but basically that would be what they called it, and that's where we get the word cliché. It's something we've said so much, it almost starts to lose its meaning. But I want to take that back. I want to take that back. I want to take back the fact that we are all in this together. But when we say that, it's not just COVID-19, or it's not just whatever the issues are, you know, on the news today. It's as a human species, as fellow inhabitants of the planet Earth, we are in this together. We are a family. So from now on, I'm going to finish my videos asking you to remember to be kind to one another, to treat other people like they're your family. Because even though we don't always just love to get along with our family, and some of you guys are like, you know, I just can't stand my family. The thing is, one nice thing is, and of course, in the United States, we always talk about the conversations we're going to have at Christmas, or the conversations we're going to have with family. And we have a holiday here called Thanksgiving, and it's where we all get together. And oftentimes you've got a different political point of view, or a religious point of view, or some kind of a philosophical difference with your family. And you know, you might clash and clash heads. But at the end of the day, we still get together. We still are willing to say, hey, you know what? We might disagree on some things, but we're still family. And the power that you have as an individual to go about your life and treat everyone as if they're in your family is, I think it's the most underestimated thing there is. Now, if you're a fan of this channel, you know I talk about being able to control your autonomic nervous system. I talk about doing things that many people think are impossible. And one of the things that I echo from many of my mentors is that we are capable of more than we even know. I've got to say that I think that This is something that is just as important, and I think is just as, and probably more underestimated, is the power of the individual when that individual is approaching the world with kindness. Don't underestimate the value of kindness. And the thing is, it's different from being nice, okay? So we're forgetting that. I'm not going to go back and remake all my videos, so you're still going to hear, don't forget to be nice to people, right? But from now on, I am going to be talking about kindness at the end of my videos. I'm going to remind you to be kind to others. Someone who is kind isn't being kind because they feel forced to be. Someone who is kind is not being pushed around. Someone who is kind is being kind out of a position of strength, because you're able to say, you know what, my friend, I'm going to be kind to you today. And does that mean you have to move mountains? No. But if enough people are kind, mountains can be moved. So I want to encourage you to go out there and to treat people with the kindness that is your family, because we're all in the same family. So here we go. First time on this channel. Let's see how it feels. I'm going to throw this out there, finish it up. Let's see if it has the right feel. Here it comes. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And don't forget to go out there and be kind to one another. Ooh, that felt good. That felt right.